Hear you.
I can.
I can hear you.
All
Me
set.
too.
Okay, so Dawn, you're here. Let's call the meeting to order. It's 3:05.
Very good.
Okay, I'll start off with the roll call.
Okay.
Gary Ellis here. Deb,
Here.
Christine,
Here.
Liz,
Present.
George,
Present.
Paul,
Present.
Nate.
Here.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. We certainly have a quorum. Thanks to everybody for being here. Now, Dawn, if you want to read the script for the
I will do that. As a precautionary measure to reduce the spread of coronavirus, all town buildings are closed to the public, and the March 3rd, 2021 Community Preservation Committee meeting will be held by remote participation. My name is Dawn Marie Flood, CPA Program Coordinator, and I will be serving as moderator for this virtual meeting. Sorry. Although no in-person attendance will be permitted, every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access and participate in the proceedings. Persons who would like to view or listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by watching via this virtual meeting or dialing into the number provided on the notice of meeting. We will also post a recording of this meeting on the Town of Yarmouth website as soon as we're able. Please be patient as we work to overcome any technological challenges with this virtual meeting. For all meetings, to reduce confusion during the meeting, all audience participants of the virtual meeting enter the meeting muted. Participants will be unmuted when called upon by the chair to speak. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself to avoid unnecessary background noise. All votes must be roll call votes. After a motion is made and there is a second, the chair will ask for a roll call vote. For public participation, comments or questions from the public will be taken at the discretion of the chair. Members of the public may speak by selecting the raise hand button and waiting for the chair to call on them to speak. If you're dialed into the phone number provided, you can press *9 on your phone to indicate that you would like to comment. Members of the public recognized by the chair are asked to identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation for the public record, and then provide their comment each time they speak. I will now hand the meeting back to the chair.
Okay, thanks, Dawn. So
You are welcome.
the meeting to order, I guess, first on our agenda, we have the Board of Selectmen meeting review. I don't know if anybody watched it. Any comments? I certainly was there. It is what it is. I didn't see any problems with it. I thought it went well. They didn't have any true objections to anything that we talked about. So, no. Did anybody else watch it? George, I think you did, right?
I did. My feeling was the same, Gary. I thought you did a real nice job presenting, and a lot of good back and forth. So I think it was a home run.
Yep, I do think it's important when we get to town meeting. I don't remember if we discussed it, but Mark Forrest had asked last year that everything that we bring forward, we also mention the matching contribution. So I think we need to be prepared with that with every project. It's a good idea. I think it's important. So I'll work with Dawn and Karen and we'll make sure we have that. If there's any other comments or anything on the selectmen's meeting? If not, we'll go ahead to the most important thing today is the conditions that me, Dawn, and Karen have drafted for projects without going through each one item by item. I think everybody has it on their packet. Has everybody had a chance to look at them, review them? Any comments or anything you want to add? We have the, standard, the 3-year time period on all of them for them to get the project done or report back to us. Mark first had asked last year that everything that we bring forward, we also mention the matching contribution. So I think we need to be prepared with that with every project. It's a good idea. I think it's important. So why am I getting that feedback?
Close that window.
Is there any other comments or anything on the select? So any comments, anybody raise hands? I don't know what's wrong with this thing, but Anybody have any comments or anything you want to add as far as conditions for the projects that you've had a chance to look through? I don't see anybody with any comments, so if
I thought
that's-
that was good. I thought it actually took note of all of our comments from the previous meetings, and I thought you guys did a good job. So
we tried to cover everything,
yes,
so.
you guys did great. Thank you.
So if not, then I can hear a motion to accept the
Question.
condition.
George
Mr.
has
Chair?
a question.
I think George is making a motion, correct?
No, I have a question.
Yep.
On the conditions for the cultural center, on the doors, one of the, there's a letter coming. It was approved by the commission, the work on the doors, but we did ask that when the architectural drawings are available on the doors, that they be submitted.
I saw that in your notes, so. But I think we're gonna leave that up to you, the historic, to either recommend it or not. I don't think it's our job as a committee to approve the door. I think it's up to you.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think you can add that as a condition on for the cultural center, that it's conditional upon the approval of the historic commission on the architectural drawings of the door.
Very good.
Okay, so if that's it, then I can hear a motion to accept the condition
I make a motion to accept them as written.
with the one amendment we just added.
With one amendment.
Second,
Seconded.
okay, motion by Debbie Clark, seconded by George. All in favor of the motion as stated? Gary, yes. Christine,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Deb,
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
Next, we have, I think you all saw the letter we just talked about. You have the letter of support for the cultural center. And then I think we have Brad Bishop here also, who's from Dennis.
Yes, sir, I'm
CPC.
here, but
So I think we're all, I don't know if you know that we voted to approve everything based on the conditions, and we took the painting out. We deducted for painting. We felt that was maintenance. So I'm just updating on you what we'd already approved. So
thank you. We just approved the amount, the 50% amount in total.
thank you. Well, certainly I think it's great that we're working together on these projects, and I hope we do more. It helps everybody. We're looking forward to getting the Playhouse going, and I think we're going to talk about the veterans housing, what we're going to do for that today also. So
Thank you.
I think it's a great idea that we're working together, and we'll be able to do much more, get many more matching funds, and I hope it continues. So I think that is next is the cultural center. We'd already voted on that, correct, Don?
Voted on approving it, provided that they provided that they got us the information, which
Yep,
was in
they
your
did.
packet. So, yes, they have met the conditions, so they're on the warrant.
Okay. So then, next we would have the Veterans Home in Dennis. I don't know if anybody looked through the packet, but I'd ask Don, inquire, I'll get to you in a minute, Christine. So we inquired of the coalition. Dennis did also with the same question about the other towns and what they'd asked for to do the funding. I don't know if everybody read the response, but basically they'd asked for money to be applied towards their mortgage And Stuart, pretty much to surmise his letter, felt that that's certainly within our parameters to do that. It's just important that we make sure the money is directed towards construction cost. And my feeling would be, we can run it by our town lawyer, but if it's a mortgage, they aren't funding services. It technically, I would think it would have to be construction costs. The bank's not going to give you money towards services you're providing. It's going to have to be. So I think giving them money towards their mortgage, I think it takes care of that condition. Christine, have you got a comment, question now?
I had a comment on the cultural center.
Of the what?
The cultural center,
Okay.
they resubmitted their application, but it still says repairs. We asked them to say renovations. And the cover sheet still says repairs. I think that has to be corrected.
I think they'll do that if we ask them to.
Yeah, because they just resubmitted it in February, but it still says repairs. So
So Dawn, can you
I would like to
Oh.
see that cover sheet, amended.
Under project name, Cultural Center exterior repairs and improvements, is that what you mean, Christine?
Right, it
Okay.
should say renovations and improvements.
Yeah, I do. I certainly don't have any problem with doing that. I don't think repairs are the same as maintenance, so it doesn't bother me that much.
Okay,
But I think it's well within, so we don't create any questions, to ask them. And Don, if you can just change that to
Can do that.
renovations.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of the stuff you did, over at the historic, those were technically repairs. So if it's not falling under maintenance, if your gutters have fallen off and have to be redone, that's not something you do like every 10 years. So I don't think it falls under a maintenance category, but it is technically a repair. But the easier way to word it is called it a restoration.
right, and I'd like to see that in our chart too.
So I think we just change repairs to restoration.
Okay, thank you.
So now back to the veterans housing. Did everybody get a chance to read the response from the coalition?
I hadn't sent out that response to everybody yet. So
I think everybody should see it.
I will do that.
So I don't, until everybody actually reads that, I don't see how we can actually make a motion on that today. Unless you want to read it in, but you kind of have to digest it. I read through
Have
it.
to digest it, and I had a little bit of a issue because it's really directed to Jeff and Dennis.
Yep.
It kind of talks about Yarmouth CPC position tangentially. He never got back directly to me. But if you're comfortable with using that guidance directed towards Dennis, then yeah, I'll send this out.
I am. I know it's directed towards Dennis, but I think it puts us on the same page. And his answer is, it's pretty, it's not wishy-washy. He's telling us he sees no problem with us doing this. And after I read it, I feel the same.
I will send it out. I mean, I can try to send it right now if anybody's going to have a chance to read it and look at it. And before
I don't
we
know how to read it.
adjourn.
Paul?
I said, I don't know how to read it and participate in the meeting at the same time.
Yeah, I think
Okay, so we
it
can,
merits our time to actually focus on it and collect our thoughts on it, please.
Yep. Some of you might have questions when you read it. It's quite thorough. But I don't have any problem with the fact that I know it was directed towards Dennis, but basically Dennis and Yarmouth had asked the same question.
all right, so I'll send that out.
Okay, so next, guess, an update on Yankee Village? Is that what this is?
We have a little exciting update on Yankee Village, which is that there was a respondent to the RFP that was sent out. And so
Yep.
we're working on a contract for that project to start with the design.
And do we have a definitive answer on whether we can use the 400,000 towards the bridge?
Well, we can use it in the Yankee Village project line. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to be used for the bridge.
Well, bridge or just towards that project without going back to town meeting. Is what I'm
Yeah.
getting at.
Right. Yep. No, that Karen got that cleared with Ed. Pardon?
Because we're talking a
hold on.
year.
Let me bring Karen in. Oh, there she's got her hand raised. Sorry. Karen's right
Yep.
here. Hold on. She'll give you
Christine,
the-
go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, hi, Dawn. I couldn't find that RFP on the town website. Could you forward to me a copy of the RFP that went out?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
In 1 minute.
Yeah, not now. I just wanted to,
You want to come out here because I'm getting an error there. Failed to promote. Happy to. Debbie is sharing her screen right now.
Can I hop in the driver's seat here?
Just do that. Yep. You probably don't want those. So I'll just put it like that. But he has his headphones on. Can I? I don't know where. Can everybody hear me?
yes.
Okay, sorry. I have a new camera and we're having technical difficulties with it. So Christine will send out that RFQ for you to look at. We were very happy with the one response that we've received.
Wonderful.
Gary, with regards to your question, I did speak with the finance director, and we do require town meeting action to distribute the park grant funds that were received by the town. So we have $400,000 in the park grant, and we need to appropriate it back. And the good news is that we are able to appropriate some amount of that back to the Yankee Village, I'll just call it the Yankee Village project account. And then the balance can go back to the open space fund. The finance director did ask that we get a vote from the committee to do that. So that's the good news, is that we can do it. The bad news is I don't have a good figure for you yet. So on what that bridge value will be, we have asked for an estimate, and it will be something that the contractor that we're working on the restoration project with will be able to help us with. So I would come back to that, and I'll have that information in time for, ideally we have it before the warrant is printed. So I've got that kind of in the back of my head in terms of drafting of the warrant articles for town meeting.
So are we able to get it on the warrant for the spring?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just, go ahead.
I don't feel like waiting another year for this.
You're not going to have to wait another year.
Okay.
We can do this return at the town meeting.
Okay. So we have no idea on the bridge, right? So we can't even do an up to figure.
I would, I could make up a figure right now.
No, we don't
But I'd like to base it on reality.
Right. We don't want to get it wrong. Paul?
Right.
Yeah, Karen, I think you just go back. You said something about the 400,000 that was awarded to the Yankee Village project, wasn't it? But now
That's
you're
correct.
saying that some of those funds might be applied to that, and then the remainder would be to something else.
So, Paul, the original plan, the advice we had was the grant came in, it's considered a receipt for the town. So we can't spend from a receipt fund.
Okay.
That receipt fund has to be deposited, if you will, by town meeting into an expense fund.
Okay,
So what we were originally assuming was that it needed to go back into that open space reserve, which is where we appropriate from for all of the different open space projects. Friends of Bass River project, for instance. You know, lightning struck, and we said, hey, can we put some of this money back right into the Yankee Village project line, where we still have funding originally from CPA that we had appropriated for the project in general, the acquisition and the restoration. And that is indeed allowable. We just have to word the article in the warrant accordingly. Does
okay,
that make sense? It's instead of just taking the money and putting it in one account, we're putting it in two.
okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So anybody else, any questions or comments on that? I mean, generally, it's good news that we can use the money towards Yankee Village without waiting a year to go back to next year's town meeting to ask to use it. So as long as we can do that, I'm happy. However we do it.
Great.
Okay, I guess next, what do we have new on our favorite project, Sandy Pond?
What were you gonna report? Do you want?
That
I
was all about Yankee Village.
I'm gonna
Sandy
switch
Pond.
spots with Dawn
Okay.
Marie. She can have the driver's seat again. I think there has been some correspondence regarding kind of just how to move the project along together. I know that Mr. Colby is going to be working with Recreation and hopefully the Recreation Commission to kind of just get things going and move it forward. So.
Pretty much. I don't know what there is. Right? Unless Debbie has any more.
Yes, of course. Did they get the correspondence?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, in
Unless
general,
Debbie has
we're-
anything to add?
Nope, we're trying to push this forward and get everything crossed and the i's dotted and move on for the fall, I guess, fall town meeting.
Right. What's the point? To get all the questions answered, try and mesh the handicap playground along with the splash pad and everything else, get it into one article and do it in the fall. I certainly believe that's the best approach if we want to
Right.
get it approved. Christine, do you have a question?
No,
And Jeff is aware of the questions that came up recently here, and he's going to be in the process of this whole kind of revised or new application, addressing the questions like
The water?
the environmental impact and et cetera, et cetera. So that's that update.
Okay, so anybody who has any questions they can think of as we go ahead with this, feel free to forward it to Dawn, who can run it by Jeff if you have any further questions. I'm sure there's going to be more as we go along, but we want to try and get all the legitimate questions answered before we get to town meeting floor.
Which, moving on, is still, as far as we know, going to be April 27th. So,
So there was some talk at the selectmen's meeting about pushing that forward, correct?
correct. But I haven't heard anything more. I don't know.
Oh, they'll wait to April 26th.
April 26th? No.
No, it's a joke. I mean, they'll wait till the last minute,
Not funny.
but not funny. But I think it's a good idea to move it forward. The further you get into spring, the further we get away from the vaccination, the more we get into better weather, the more people you're going to get at town meeting. I don't think anybody can argue with that.
It looks, it may be on next week's Board of Selectmen agenda, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll forward it to you if I, when it gets sent to me.
I think everybody will keep pushing them on this so that, we have a date to work towards.
The new administrator should be starting the first week in April.
Is that when he starts?
That's what they said at the selectmen's meeting the other night.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, so that everybody knows, both myself and Christine have talked about when he comes on board, without having the whole committee, me and her are going to go and sit down and have a talk with him. I mean, in general, I think we've talked about this and before, has more to do with making sure that the town, who should be the prime example of how to prepare a CPA application, that we should be on the same playing field as any private person. So trying to push these town projects for, just going to mention to them in a nice way, we'd like to see that because we're going to treat them all the same from now on. We're not putting a forward agenda on town projects that aren't ready to be applied for. And I think it's got to come from him and the selectmen. So just going to let him know our concern with this in the past, and we'd like to avoid it and will avoid it in the future, honestly. Deb, do you have your hand up?
No,
So you have that hand in front of you again.
no,
Yes,
this
you
is my
do.
hand. There it is right there, but no, I don't have my hand up.
Okay. All right, Don, what else do we
Hmm.
have? Anything?
Well,
like to put-
before,
Whenever
to
we're going to have
minutes.
our next meeting, I want to get this veterans housing thing put to bed. So
all right, so
you're going to forward that to everybody. I think it's important you all read it. If you have any questions, you can run it by Don. You know, we pay our money to be a member of the coalition, and this is one of the huge advantages to it. They obviously did research on this, and I think they answered my concerns.
so do you want to schedule a meeting then for next Wednesday to vote on that?
I don't know. Let's check with everybody else. I will be here, but
It could be a very brief meeting, so.
we always say that.
Works for me.
That's
But
okay by me.
that'll take care of all our projects, right, Don? If we can do the veterans thing, right?
Mhm.
So I'd like to get that done sooner versus later. So everybody
good with-
okay with next Wednesday? We will keep
Gary,
it brief.
George, Liz.
I'm all right with
Yeah,
it.
I'm okay.
Okay, that's good. It looks like we'll have a quorum, and we'll just possible keep it to that one item, Don. And
Okay, well, I might have another set of minutes for you.
here we go. Okay, we can do minutes. That'll be quick.
You're right, and we got to do it.
Okay.
Was there any other committee updates? Everything going good with conservation and?
Yes, I think so.
Good,
Tomorrow's a new day, Paul.
Oh, good. Meeting tomorrow.
Mhm. Do
okay.
you have a meeting tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know if you're going to get an assistant for Kelly? Is that-
Yeah, they have one. They have a
Do they?
part-time assistant. I think she just
But-
started the other day.
Yeah, she started Monday, yep.
Better than nothing. I see
Heidi.
Ed out there all the time looking at projects, and he feels like he's being an employee, but
Yeah.
God love him, he does his homework. He goes out there.
Yep.
All right. If not, then I can hear a motion to adjourn, and we'll have
No, please vote on the minutes first.
I didn't even see them. Okay. They are from,
February 3rd and February 10th.
okay, so first we'll start with February 3rd. Anybody had a chance to read those
Let
and
me go to them.
willing to make a motion?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of February 3rd.
Motion by Christine, second.
I
Seconded.
seconded.
Debbie.
Seconded by, give this one to Debbie. All right, Gary, aye. Christine,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Paul.
All right.
Debbie.
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have the motions from February, what, Don?
February 10th.
February 10th, perfect.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of February 10th.
Motion by Christine, second.
I second it.
Seconded by Debbie again. All in favor? Gary, aye. Christine,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
George,
I,
Paul,
I was absent. I'll abstain.
Deb.
Aye.
Okay. Minutes accepted. Anything else, Don?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, good work on the conditions. I appreciate it. We made that fairly simple. It can be pretty extensive, so.
Good.
Appreciate
Very
your
good.
work on that. And if that's the case, I can hear a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
Motion by George, seconded by Christine. All in favor, Gary, aye. Christine,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
George,
I.
Paul,
All right.
Deb.
Aye.
All right. Beautiful day.
All right,
Still
great.
got sunlight. Get down and enjoy it, everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got time left.
Warmer than yesterday.
A lot different.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Okay.
All right.
see you
Thanks,
soon.
everybody. We'll see you briefly next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks.